welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jess and my channel has a range of content. Today's video is going to be my January reading wrap up. However, this has got a spin on it. Much like my project pans and my Pan Those Eyeshadows challenges or projects, they encourage me to consume a little less or to be more conscious about the purchases that I'm making and if they have great value in my collections. Now, last year, I brought quite a lot of books and I filmed a video that was like all the books on my physical TBR, so all the books that I own and have brought either with my own money or with free samples, etc, etc, and it was at 77. I don't remember exactly when I filmed that video. However, I am bringing a challenge because 77 unread books. Last year I read 54 books in a year. That was the most I've ever read in any given year. Now, was I consuming books a lot? Yes. But was I also purchasing books? Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I enjoy the book purchasing process as well as the book reading process. However, I will admit, when I'm not in a reading mood, I'm in a book buying mood, and I really want to kind of balance out, I guess, a little bit of my TBR. I'm not going to be strict and say I don't want to buy any books because it doesn't work for me. I won't buy them for a couple of months and then I'll end up buying so many in one go that I feel a little bit overwhelmed by my TBR. So my goal is that I either want my TBR to get lower each month or stay the same, and that's what my rule is going to be. So I can still purchase books. So for example, I might just choose to buy one book. That would add one value to my TBR, but if I read that book instantly, it would bring it back to the same number. So as long as I read the book that I brought, or as long as I read books from my TBR already before buying the book that I want or really would love to purchase, then that works well as well. Each month, the number for my TBR is going to go down, which may make it difficult for me. I'm not going to count library books or anything like that. I might count library books or library audiobooks as something neutral, so like they don't add to my TBR, they're just like an extra, I guess. Anyway, let's reveal the number that my TBR is currently at. Leave in the comments your predictions. Is it going to be higher or lower than 77? And I will reveal that my current TBR length at the beginning of this year, so at the beginning of January, not at the end, this is when I'm filming this video, but at the beginning of January I had 81 unread books. I have 81 books currently unread in my collection. So today is going to be the very first installment of this challenge, and I'm happy to say that we are starting the year pretty great. Let's get started with how many books that I read this month. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I read 6 books this month. Do you know what? I did not realise I read that much, and it is currently the 25th of January and I'm partway through 2 books, so that actually puts me in a really great position. And what we'll do is at the end of each month I will retally how many books are in my collection and I will let you know. Okay, I quickly just edited what my spreadsheet looks like because it was getting confusing to look at it already. So I have moved over the 6 reads that I had this month, and let's quickly go through them and I'll give you guys my reviews, what I thought of the books, etc, etc, and I'll also talk about the 2 books that I'm currently reading, and then I'll reveal what my TBR is currently at. First things first, I read It Starts With Us at the very beginning of January. This is the second book in the It Ends With Us trilogy, like duology, that Colleen Hoover wrote. I really enjoyed It Ends With Us. I think I gave it 5 stars actually. And It Starts With Us I also really enjoyed. However, I felt that there was near the end, like the whole story in general I was really enjoying, and my brother's girlfriend Megan actually read this book as well. We read it pretty much at the same time. We both agreed in this opinion that the wrap up just didn't seem clean enough. Like there was a lot of things missing. There were some elements that she added and they were really great elements to the story and add great character depth, but there was just something missing at the ending. Like the ending didn't tie all the loose ends together in a way. Like it felt a little bit rushed. Like it felt like, oh my god, I've got all of these different plot points and I'm just gonna skip over the fact that this happened and this happened and this happened and then have the assumption that this is now like this. So the ending for me, and also in agreement with my brother's girlfriend, is it felt a little bit rushed. It felt like there wasn't enough pages to conceal everything, to wrap everything up nicely. I'm a bit disappointed with the ending, to be honest. So I ended up giving it 3 stars, mainly because the ending just wasn't what I wanted. Like it wasn't as wrapped up and nice and cohesive as I really wanted it to be. Then I read The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Mendings. Guys, I have been eyeing this graphic novel up for a while and I'm so happy that I finally read it. My boyfriend's actually read it as well. We are looking into getting the second one as well so we can both read it. This is a great representation of anxiety and depression and like mental illness, but within sad ghosts, and it is just so nice. And I mean, it's a very easy read, and I think a lot of people, if you don't connect to the mental health side of it, you won't necessarily enjoy it that much, because I think a lot of people might think, oh, this is too simplistic, this is not enough. However, for me personally, it hit me right in my heart. As someone who suffers from anxiety, like the spiraling of the thoughts, really, I could relate to that so much. I give this 4 stars in total. I don't know why, I just didn't get the 5-star feeling from it, unfortunately, but I did give it 4 stars, and it's definitely a very high up there 4 stars. Then I moved on to reading A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. This is a romance, a very chunky romance. However, I want to say this I really enjoyed. I gave this one 4 stars as well. There is a lot of controversy with the smut scene in here, particularly the first one. It involves a lollipop, and it really over-sexualizes lollipop in here, so like lollipops in general in here, so if you don't like that, then you won't enjoy it. There's a lot of comments on Goodreads that I actually found so funny to read. Like, the reviews were hilarious to me. I don't know why. I personally enjoyed it. I could look through the one pretty rough sex scene, to be honest. I could look through that. I literally devoured this whole book in 2 sittings. Like, that's impressive. Like, I do have things to do, but I read this in 2 sittings. It was like addictive in a way that I can't explain. That's what it was. It was addictive in a way I can't explain, and I really enjoyed it. I read another graphic novel. I read Lore Olympus Volume 3, and we guess, was this my first 5-star of the year? It damn straight was. I love this graphic novel series. I know you can watch it on, like, you can read it online if you want to. It's originally a webtoon comic. However, I just prefer reading it like this. The illustrations are just phenomenal, and I just really love the artwork. I think it's really worth the read, worth the price of the books. This was actually half price on Amazon. And yeah, I love this series, and I can't wait for volume 4 to come out. I think in this one, I really liked how the issues addressed and things that happened in the first book finally got addressed, and she finally had someone to talk to about how wrong the things that had happened to her were, and I enjoyed that a lot. If you like Greek mythology but you find it a little bit difficult to follow, I definitely recommend that you try this series. Yeah, really love this, and this was another great addition to this series in my opinion. Was 2 reads that I actually didn't get to mark off on my Goodreads. I read 2 smut books on my Kindle app. That was Corrupted Here by Kiana Hetterson, and also Made of Steel by Ivy Simone, I think. I don't remember the surname properly. And yeah, these were both okay. I think I gave one of them wasn't really that good, and I only gave 2 stars, and then the other one I gave 3. So they weren't the best smut that I've ever read by any means. I was just in the mood for a little bit more romance and smuttiness, so I read these. These were also 1 or 2 of them was via recommendation of a YouTube account that I follow. Definitely need to do a little bit more research into that kind of general area of reading in general, because I feel like I'm quite picky with it, to be honest. I think there's some things that I enjoy, some things that I don't, and if I don't enjoy it, I just don't like the book in general. And then I lied, there is a 7th book that I also read, but it's not counting towards like the physical TBR, because this is one that I listened to via audio with my library through the Libby app. Second book in the Nevermore series from Jessica Townsend, and this is Wonder Smith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow. I absolutely love this series, guys. It's so good. I really enjoy it. It's a young adult, it's a children's / middle grade book, and it's just phenomenal. I really enjoy this book series. I can't wait to read or listen to the audiobook of the last one. I gave this 5 stars. So moving on to the 2 books I am currently still reading / are partway through and have started in January. So we have How to Cook a Family by Bella Mackie. On page 154 currently, so I'm almost halfway through the book. I really started off really enjoying this book, and then for some reason I just felt the need to put it down. I wasn't really engaging with it as much. I picked up the newest Holly Black book that came out, I think it came out in January, and that is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, or Here or Hair, whatever. This is going to be a duology set in the same world as the Folk of Air series by her, also known as the Cruel Prince series. I loved the Cruel Prince series, and I can tell you I am thoroughly enjoying this. So far it's a very different story to what we saw in the Folk of Air trilogy, so don't go into this expecting it to be exactly the same. However, the world and obviously the people that I mentioned are exactly the same. I saw someone say that you don't need to read the original trilogy to be able to read this. However, I personally think that in order to read this, you do need to read the original trilogy, and the reason why is because the characters and the quest that they are going on is in relation to characters that we met in the original trilogy in this world and set in this place. So I think it's actually really important to have read the original trilogy to have the character connection. I'm on chapter 7 and I'm really enjoying this one. I mean, the 6 books that are counting towards my physical TBR count. That leaves my physical TBR number at 75 currently owned unread books. Whenever I buy a new book, I will also admit that I have bought it within that month, and it will get added to this list and highlighted as brought in February or brought in March, whatever month I brought it in will have a different colour, and it will let me know, and I will also make reference to any books that I have brought, and I will have a counter on the screen. There won't be one in this video, unfortunately, I don't think. Counts down the TBR amount of books, the amount of books that's on my TBR currently. So then at the end we have a new total, and next month we will start at that total, and if I've brought any books we will add them on, and then if I have read any books we'll take numbers away and we'll double check, and next month the goal is that my physical TBR should be less than 75 books. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. I would like to see more videos from me, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Bye!